Sturgeon's Law states that 90% of everything is crud. Are you in the 10%? Welcome to UC San Diego's web series, This is Your Resume! I'm your host, King Triton, a Fortune 500 demigod. Today's installment, the experience section. There is but one thing on your resume that will ensure you receive an interview, and that's experience. The contact information and education sections are necessary for ensuring your application isn't thrown out. But the experience section determines if your application will rise to the top or sink into a sea of crud. For didactic purposes, we will focus on work experience, but keep in mind that other types of experience can be included, such as academic, leadership, and more. The key, as always, is to include it if it's important, and cut it if it's not. For each experience, you will list the organization you worked for, its location, which means city and state if in the United States, but also the nation if it is from outside the good old US of A. Street addresses are not usually necessary. Below that, you will list the title of the position you held. Include the date range of employment, month and year, please. Special resumes may include more or less information. Under each position title, you will then have a bullet point list of the skills you developed through that experience. You will not be hired because of what you have done, but rather because of what you will be able to do in the future as evidenced by what you have done in the past. In other words, lead with your skills, not with your duties. The ideal bullet point is comprised of three elements: the skill that the hiring manager needs, the context that established that you have practical experience with that skill, and the results that prove how good you are at that desired skill. When in doubt, remember the acronym APR, APR, Action, Project, Result. Where do you find the skills that the hiring manager needs? The job ad is an excellent place to start. Unless you're applying to the CIA, it behooves the company to be upfront in what they need. Networking can give you an inside scoop on the emphasis to place on each skill, and more. It may take several permutations before you get a strong bullet point, but don't worry, that's normal. If you held multiple positions at the same organization, you have two options: either list the position separately, but under the same employer, or include your last title only, but include the relevant information from your entire tenure. Which option to select depends on how much information you want to include, and what that most important information is. By listing the position separately, you can include more bullet points, but more isn't always better. While the experiences themselves need to be listed in reverse chronological order, the bullet points should be in order of importance. That means most important bullet point at the top, and the most important element of each bullet point at the front. I recommend creating a master resume that has all the bullet points you might ever need about all the positions you might ever include. Never show that resume to anyone, but rather edit it down to the 1 to 2 pages that you would actually submit. Remember, your resume should be targeted for each individual position that you apply for. Likewise, chances are there is one experience that is most relevant to the position you are applying for. For that entry, have 3 to 5 bullet points, but for the other positions, 1 to 3 will do. Wherever your resume spends its time, there too will the hiring manager be likely to look. This goes both for the number of bullet points in a section, as well as the length of those bullet points. However, never add content just for the sake of drawing attention. Every line of your resume should have a specific and intentional role to play in securing you an interview. Tune in next time as we discuss extracurricular and leadership experiences on Your Resume.